then go with the 535 series, right? But else, 505 or 505 is more than enough. Now, ballrooms, all right? Ballroom, very careful with ballrooms because I have partners who deploy a very cheap low-end APs in ballroom, and when the ballroom is empty and has nobody, he'll test. Oh, Robert, when I test the Wi-Fi in the ballroom, when nobody there, it's super fast, it's super strong on the coverage. But when people start to come into the ballroom and start to all connect to the Wi-Fi becomes very, very bad because those AP that he deployed are not suitable for high density environment. So now, at minimum, go with the AP 505. And if you feel that the environment has a lot of people, like if you need to connect more than 100 devices in AP, which are running actively at the same time, how many 100 devices, go with AP 535. For 70 plus devices running actively, go with the AP 515. Now, for outdoor environment like the swimming pool, the gardens, or at the beach area, for low density area, I will go with the AP 565 for omnidirectional, or the AP 567 for directional antenna. So when I say omni or directional antenna, those antenna are built into the APs. Right? You don't need to have separate external antenna. Right? We simplify it. All the antenna are built into the AP. Simplified, which you can run outdoors, under the rain, under the sun. For environment, like you have functions outside in the garden or at the beach, and you need to connect to many devices, then go with the AP 575 for omnidirectional or 577 for directional antenna. Now, for back of house, for the users, for the staff to connect to the network, I recommend the 505. 505 is more than enough. You don't need to have very high AP for staff, right? Because not many staff will connect to the Wi-Fi. So I see there's a lot of message on the chat window. Let me just check on that. More time. Okay, sorry, I can't read Vietnam. Nam, can you help me to see if it's a question on the chat window?
Boss?
On the, yep.
I think that's one later on the Q&A session we can do.
Yep, no problem.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that later.
Yeah.
Thank you. Now, for some hotels, they are very worried about the aesthetic because when you put an AP on the ceiling, sometimes the hotel has very nice decoration on the wall, on the ceiling. Maybe they have some furnishing or wood on the wall. So some customers actually want to spray paint on the AP to match the color of the wall. So we actually sell these snap-on covers where you can just take this cover, snap onto the AP, and then you can spray paint this cover so that you don't have to worry about voiding the warranty. So by spray painting this AP, it becomes seamless with the decoration of the hotel. Now, for outdoor AP, you can also use skin or stickers, right, to match with the outdoor environment so that it looks as part of that outdoor environment. Some of our customers even build custom enclosures so that it looks like part of the outdoor lamp, for example, all right? So you can see here, right, they actually built a customized enclosure to put our AP inside it. If you want to do it, by all means, go ahead, right, to make that outdoor look seamless. So now, changing gears now from AP, we're going to talk about analytic and assurance coverage. So a lot of time, IT manager, every week they have meetings with their bosses. And during those meetings, you need to share report on how is the Wi-Fi working in the hotel? How is the Wi-Fi performing? Is the Wi-Fi performing up to spec? Is the bandwidth good? Are there any guest complaints? So we are able to help the IT manager to generate those reports from two different perspectives, right? We start off from the left, right? User perspective. So what the user perspective really means is that we use a sensor, right, such as the UX sensor that you see over here, to connect to the Wi-Fi and the wired network and test the network as though like a guest or an employee. And when there's a problem going to happen soon, quickly alert to the IT manager, right? Quickly alert to the IT manager that we know that maybe the gas captive portal has a problem. Go and solve the problem before the guest complain. We can also give you information from the network perspective through Aruba Central, right? So we can give you information through a dashboard. Where are those problems that I just shared with you just now, right? Or through a user perspective by using the UXS sensor. So this is the dashboard that we use to help you analyze the information. Now, by using the UXS sensor, right, we can actually use this sensor to connect to your guest Wi-Fi or to your admin network, right? And then we can test, for example, if the Wi-Fi is up and running. Can I connect and authenticate to the Wi-Fi? Okay? If you have a guest captive portal, try to test all the captive portal, right? By logging in, clicking all the buttons and making sure that it is working. So traditionally, you have to send an engineer with a laptop and then connect to the guest Wi-Fi and test all these functions every week. So with this sensor, you don't have to do that anymore. The sensor will do it for you 24/7, every day, every hour, making sure that the network is up and running and giving you a report so that you can use it during your IT manager meeting, right? So that you can understand and share that the network is running up to spec, right? So we can also test authentication, how fast to resolve a website, how fast to get an IP address from DHCP, and of course the bandwidth. And now also application. So a lot of time for hotel guests, we use a lot of YouTube, a lot of Facebook, a lot of messaging applications such as WhatsApp. Right? We are able to test and make sure those applications are running. So I can give you an example. The zoo in Singapore are using this sensor as well, the zoo, where they keep all those animals there. What happens at the callers? Hey, Robert, something wrong with the network in the zoo. We have user complaining that it's not working. But when we go on site in the zoo, we found out that the Wi-Fi is perfectly fine. Sorry, we found out that the Wi-Fi is perfectly fine, but Facebook so happened was not working today. And for your information, last night about 10 p.m. Vietnam time, Facebook actually went down. Right? Facebook went down, right? And this is not the first time. So what happened that when the Facebook went down, user call and complain Wi-Fi is not working. Why the Wi-Fi is so lousy? But in actual fact, actually Facebook server went down. So this can happen in the hotel as well. If Facebook were to go down, the guests would think that it's a Wi-Fi problem. Right? So with the UXI sensor, we can actually tell you that the Wi-Fi has no problem, but actually Facebook went down. Right? So this helps you to solve problems faster, identify them faster. So this is the dashboard on our UXI sensor. And so we use smiley face to detect that if the performance is okay, and sad face if there's an issue. So it's very, very intuitive and easy to understand. So if I click on one of the applications, for example, if I'm monitoring Google Documents, right, application online, I can tell the status, right, the application went down. What is the latency and performance to the cloud-based application, right? I can also go down deeper, right, if there's a problem based on timestamps. And I can see that, for example, if Google Documents were to have problems, I can check Wi-Fi, no problem. DHCP, no issue. I can get IP address. I can ping to the gateway, it's reachable. DNS is working. ICMP is working. I can ping to Google Documents. However, all right, when I try to use it, all right, it has the HTTP error. So if a guest would complain that Google Documents not working, the Wi-Fi is not working, you know already, Wi-Fi no problem, DNS no problem. It's actually Google problem, right? Like I said, last night, 10 p.m. Vietnam time, Facebook went down. Right, the whole Singapore, I believe Vietnam as well, right, cannot use Facebook. So this is an example. And so this is our first generation of the UXI sensor. So this has Wi-Fi, it has wired, it also has a cellular SIM card built in to this sensor. So the benefit of having cellular is because sometimes internet in the hotel goes down, right? It's out of your control, because ISP, right? If the ISP goes down, you cannot do anything. So if the hotel has totally no internet, we are able to use that 3G, 4G SIM card to send alert to you so that you know, oh, the hotel internet is down. All right. It also has backup power. So in the event the hotel server room lost power, it has a small battery which can last for a few seconds. So the battery will, before it dies, it will send you an alert, right, over internet or over 4G. Right? It will send you an alert so that you know that the power went down in the hotel. And this is our latest generation of the UXI sensor, which supports Wi-Fi 6. So the design that we do for this new sensor is to match and fit into the hotel interior decoration. So previously it was shipped like an access point. The new model at this stage, much more like furniture in the hotel. So this is how it looks like in terms of the deployment, right? You just mount it onto the wall and plug it in. So we can actually power up the sensor over PoE or using AC adapter. And configuring and troubleshooting USS sensor is very easy. You can actually use an app, right, to check the sensor if you need to troubleshoot. Or if you don't use the app, it's fine, because the sensor, if you plug into the network, it will automatically talk to our cloud dashboard. And then from a cloud dashboard, you can actually troubleshoot that function or that sensor as well. And if you have too many of these sensors in the hotel and you're not sure which sensor is which, you can use the application and click on the button to make sure that it's blinking so that you can identify which sensor you are trying to identify, or by using a mobile phone. So this is the new generation of doing everything through your mobile phone rather than from a laptop. So now, changing gears, we've talked about infrastructure, we have talked about hardware. I'm going to talk about how do you as a partner build an Aruba bill of materials. So we internally in Aruba, especially myself, I use a tool called Iris to create bill of materials, to create bombs, create quotations with pricing that you can send to your customer. So we're going to skip through all this. So it's available to you as a partner to use it to create the bill of material. So this is how it looks like. So we actually use this tool called Iris so that you can actually build a hotel design. Right? For example, like what I have, you have the call switches, you have the wireless controller, you have the public area, Wi-Fi, AP and switches, outdoor AP for the pool, guest floor 1, guest floor 2. Right? So you can actually build a simple diagram over here, and you can actually save it and generate it as a bill of material. We can also simulate PoE power that is being used by those APs in this environment, how much PoE power that you need to plan for the access switches. So this number here are actually PoE power, right? And of course, and how much PoE power is available on the access switches. It helps you to plan easily, right? So to create that diagram, to create the bill of material, we have a catalog, right? A catalog that you can actually use to pick the models, like such as, for example, a 6-slot switch or 12-slot switch, and then you can pick the module, right? How many ports do you need on the call switch? And of course, power supply, how many power supply do you need? What